So, it's my birthday coming up fairly soon, and I started thinking about it, and this reminded me of my last birthday. You see, I really wanted to celebrate with my family, as we do every year. However, some close friends invited us to their daughter's bar mitzvah. I wasn't that fond of the idea of going, but in the end I did go, and we cut short our family celebrations. So that got me thinking of the idea of compromise. So I had a look and typed into Google what the definition of compromise was. It is as follows: an agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions. I do agree with this, but to a certain extent. I personally think that this could be a little more detailed, as in most compromises, one person or the other has to cut back by various amounts in certain places in order to reach the agreement and settle the dispute. So, for example, if you urgently need a light blue thread from a shop and they only have mid blue, then you probably have to compromise either by going from a different coloured thread or by changing your plans until you can get the right coloured thread. However, you may be thinking, yeah, I know what a compromise is. It's like an agreement. I can say that these two ideas are very similar in writing, but extremely different in person. With an agreement, both the people's criteria is filled, but with a compromise, one or both have to cut back in order to meet at the same level. There are many different levels of compromise, ranging from settling a dispute between two friends to settling a rivalry between two countries. But now that I have stated the idea of compromise, today I would like to talk to you about personal compromise. So, a couple of weeks ago, when my sister was home from uni, we both wanted to study at our dining room table. I had important exams coming up, and my sister just wanted to make notes. Obviously, at the time, I thought my case was much more valid and I was in the right, and between you and me, I still think so. We both found it so hard to make a compromise in this matter, as at the time, I even thought that her presence at the table would distract me. And when we did this, her clumping on her keyboard really annoys me, not to mention that the tiniest bit of space seemed enormous to me. We decided upon both not using the dining room table, as alternating turns proved too difficult. Another example is when I was at school the other day, both me and a fellow student wanted to use the same coloured paint in the art lesson. It was so easy to decide who would go first, as we were both polite to each other and got on with what we were doing. For this, I let her go first while I occupied myself with another part of the painting. I think the outstanding difference between these two examples is that with a family member or a close friend, you are much more likely to let out your raw emotions and not be shy when wanting something, so you will not care about making an impression, as they have probably seen you at your worst. However, when you are with an acquaintance, you want to create an image to this person and give a polite front, as you most likely care what they think and would want them to view you in a good way. I think this stems from a human necessity to be liked by others. Compromise is such an important aspect of our day-to-day life. One major aspect of your day-to-day life is interacting with other people, which is a succession of constant compromises. It's quite hard not to interact with others every day, as you see people at home, at school, on your way to and fro places, and probably in any other activities. Pretty much all of these would involve some type of compromise, from a teenager wanting to come home at 11 and their parents wanting them home at 9 so they agree upon 10, to simply letting someone go through the door in front of you. These can be seen as little acts of kindness and encourages us as humans to be more aware of others, which can make us be less self-centered and subsequently shaping us in a positive light. Compromise isn't always a win-win situation. It's more often a lose-lose situation, as both people are having to give up something from their ideal viewpoint, which leads them to making a clear and laid compromise. There are two main outcomes when it comes to a compromise. The negative outcome is that you can be untrue to your core values in order to achieve some short-term goal which can give you a sense of fulfillment. Yet, this can quickly dissolve upon realizing the fact that it has gone against your core ideas. The positive outcome is that you can fulfill your self-needs of pleasing others. This can link to the philosophical idea of situation ethics by Joseph Fletcher. Fletcher proposed that the idea that a response can be right or wrong depending on the situation. For example, there are no universal wrongs or rights, as each case deserves a unique response to the solution. So this can bring about the most loving solution for the moral dilemma. I think that this can be easily applied to compromise, as there are never any do's and don'ts when reaching an agreement, as in that particular situation, your adrenaline can bring about a fight or flight response linking to your instinct or your fight mode, as you want linking to your instinct reaction. So in a situation with a close friend or family member, you're most likely to use your instinct or fight mode, as you want the best for yourself and for them, and your instinct will provide you with your raw opinion on the matter. However, with an acquaintance, you're more likely to exhibit a flight mode rather than a gut reaction, as you'll take a moment to think, hang on, what should I say to give myself the best impression? Another way to reach a compromise is making a pros and cons list. This can help you realise the main factors that you want and will allow you not to care so much about the irrelevant things. Compromise is so important to us and is one of the fundamental things that has helped us maintain relative peace for a number of years in avoidance of anarchy. We thrive, we better ourselves, we encourage, but most importantly, we improve through compromise. We all constantly think about our connections to others, so we therefore are constantly improving ourselves to make us better. We are all aware of compromise and we all know about it, but we never really think about it. I only really realised this a short while ago when I became aware of compromising with my sister. Previously, I think that I may have been a bit self-centred, but now my eyes have been opened so that I can now easily pick up on these details. So now I am a lot more aware of my surroundings, and I truly believe this will build me to being a better person. One could say I was being too self-centred, but to that I say that it is a normal occurrence we can easily miss, so it is a good assist to pick up on these details. Thank you.